Let's do it.
All right, here we go. We're just dropping part 2. We're not gonna have an introduction, no shit like that. Never do on sequels. Decided we're just gonna fucking
Keep it going.
go balls deep. This is like
all the balls, like all the way mid shaft and everything.
mid shaft.
Like the taint is in it.
I'm thinking that's full shaft, bro.
Well, that is one of my favorite words. Taint. Taint or gooch.
See, those have always been like, that's not necessarily, because I'm the type of person, I've got the imagination of you know, I've got a really vivid imagination. So the more people say taint and gooch, I instantly think of it, and that's not just generally an area on people that I typically want to imagine.
Yeah,
and so
it's a life changer, man.
Right? So
it is a life changer.
I don't necessarily use those words, but I do. I mean, I like to make
my
up.
whole fucking mic was upside on my head, so he probably couldn't even hear me that whole fucking.
Oh shit!
What?
Are you for
minute?
real?
We're good. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Oh, just for number 2, like the last one, it was down, right?
Huh? Number 1, it was down all the way.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
nope,
shit.
But we just for like the first minute of number 2, we were down.
That's fine. That's no biggie. We were just talking about fucking, I forget now.
Just about the fucking word taint. Taint is one of my favorite words. I don't know why, just because like, I don't know, the gooch grab, fucking little.
Right.
You ever do that to somebody fucking in middle school or fucking elementary school?
I really don't think I did.
All right, that's just my generation. Here we go.
For my generation, it was the sack whack.
Nut tap. Yep.
That's the only time anybody's hands went towards anyone else's genitals. Is like,
I guess my generation is just gay as fuck.
You know, it happens, man. It happens.
I guess so. Here we go. Yeah, you just fucking, someone's walking up the steps and you just fucking. I guess that's only us. Here we go.
Well, see, that's not entirely
class of 2015.
My generation did some gay shit too. I remember being in band class, and I played percussion, and everyone who played percussion
cool kids.
Yeah, well, we weren't the cool kids, but literally at least once. I mean, you walked into the band room, and you had to expect at some point or another during this class, someone's going to shove their drumstick up your ass.
Yes.
And you just have to be prepared for it.
See,
you know?
so I guess your generation did have its gay moments. So
exactly.
it's not just us.
And that's pretty relevant in like Japanese culture too, because it, like, I don't know, with my personal experience, it's mostly through anime. But I know you've seen it in enough anime where they fucking do the fucking 4-finger punch.
Oh, Naruto is just always the worst.
Like that's a very common thing where they're like they'll poke each other in the assholes with like a power poke.
Fuck, Sensei Kakashi did it to Naruto multiple times.
Oh, for sure. And I've seen that in a lot of anime, so it leads me to believe that, you know, at least grade school kids, or, you know, in general, that's a pretty common thing.
It's a pretty common thing for the fucking freshmen to get a couple fingers up the ass.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. It's just like the movie Divergent. I mean, you'll hear this screaming pig.
Right.
I mean, it will happen. Dude, you're gonna get raped.
I liked those Divergent movies, man. The very first time I watched it.
Deliverance. Not Divergent. Deliverance. I was gonna say, I don't remember. I'm a little stoned right now, so I mean,
I was gonna say, I don't remember that scene at all in Divergent, but Deliverance makes much more sense.
I never heard a screaming pig or someone get raped in Divergent, but I mean, it would probably make for a more interesting plot. But
I watched Deliverance for the very first time a couple years ago because it's such a cult classic, and people talk about it all the time for that, especially that one couple scenes in particular. And so I watched it, and really you don't need to watch that whole movie because it kind of fucking sucks. But there are those scenes like where the dude gets raped, and they tell him to squeal like a pig, and the banjo scene, like those are the scenes that make that movie what it is, and especially for the time frame when that movie came out, like how long ago was that? There was no such thing as dudes raping dudes on TV, you know, in the fucking 70s. Like, that just didn't happen.
Never. I mean, it was...
But those Divergent movies, I don't know, how do you feel about these? It's the new fad in Hollywood now.
I guess. I mean, my biggest thing, my biggest fab is Marvel. I could blow your mind with Marvel right now with fan theories and everything.
My younger brother Matthew, he could go on like he watches all of that.
I mean, if your brother Matthew's list, I'll give him a little swing around real quick.
I don't think
your brother Matthew ever listens to this podcast,
he might.
I mean, there's a couple of viewers you might have that I'm interested in these, but
man, my
Marvel series ever since the first Iron Man in 2008, they've been planning this whole big.
I love the Iron Man movies. Those are my favorite.
And ever since that first movie, they've had these phases. They've had this whole plan set up, mapped out, blueprinted, and everything. Every Marvel movie, every Marvel TV show, every Marvel spin-off that's ever been produced since 2008,
they're all linking together. It is all linked
everything's linked together.
Yep.
And so this new movie that's coming out, Thor Ragnarok, in November, it's going to be it's going to be the final piece. And the whole Infinity Stone story, I mean, I could blow your fucking mind with the whole everything.
Well, see, I know a lot of it because my brother and I talk about it a lot. You know, because I am a big fan, like I said, of the Iron Man movies, and the next one, if it's not my favorite, is the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, great movie.
And I watched both of those movies a couple weeks ago. I watched them both 3 times in one day. That's how much I liked them. You know, I watched both of those movies 3 times in a row.
And see, the first Guardians of the Galaxy was one of my favorite movies, is because it tied everything together.
Yeah.
When the Collector, it explained all the Infinity Stones, it tied everything together. Yeah. Since, I mean, 2008 Iron Man, when he announced that he was Iron Man, it blew the lid off of everything. Yep. And Captain America introduced the Tesseract, the Space Stone, so that's a T. So the big bad in Infinity War is Thanos.
Oh yeah.
All right, Thanos.
I know him from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
So
okay. And
I'm familiar with Thanos, and he plays a much bigger role than I've been aware of.
So the Tesseract, the Space Stone, one of the Infinity Stones.
I'm gonna hit this pipe again. Open.
Go for it, man. And then there's one missing, the Soul Stone yet. That's going to be probably introduced in Thor Ragnarok. The Ether. It was the red stone, the reality stone. It was in Thor, the Dark World, the red one. And then that's A. N.
Now,
the necklace is the time stone in Doctor Strange.
I'm gonna skip ahead here a little bit, just to make sure I'm right. Basically, Thanos gets his hands on all of these, right?
Yep.
Excuse me.
So what these are is they're the Infinity Stones, and Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a glove.
Yeah.
And there's 6 Infinity Stones, and once they're all together, you pretty much can conquer anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the strongest weapons in the universe. So where I was at, Thanos is the big bad. And so what the Infinity Stones is going to do, what Marvel planned out, is they're going to spell out... The Infinity Stones are going to spell out Thanos.
Okay.
So T, the Space Stone, Tesseract.
Yeah.
We're going to save the H for a little later. I'm going to explain that in a second. A, Ether, is spelled Aether.
Yeah.
That's the Reality Stone in Dark World. N, Necklace, Time Stone in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Green. O is the Orb, the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
The purple one.
Right.
And then S, the Mind Stone, the spear, Loki's spear.
Okay, yeah.
Staff.
Yeah.
Yes, you could say. And that's the Mind Stone in Age of Ultron. That powers Vision.
Yeah, because I've watched the Avenger movies, and I like them enough to watch them, but I don't really get into them as much.
I mean, once I'm growing up, I loved DC comics. Mm-hmm. I mean, DC Detective Comics. Flash, all-time favorite character. I mean, he controls everything. He can travel through space. Yeah. Control.
See, I
mean, that's a whole different topic about Marvel, but
I grew up liking. I hate this fucking cord. I grew up liking a lot of that stuff, but not diving deep into it. Like, if there was a Flash cartoon on, I'd watch it. If somebody had a comic book, I'd read it, but I never actually bought them myself or got too deep into it. But I've always liked superhero movies and stuff, so I've always, had a general interest in Batman and Superman, and I really like the Iron Man movies. I like those, and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies because they
bring me back to when I was a kid.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, even anime. I watched Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. I mean, even the new Dragon Ball Super.
I actually didn't get into anime until my mid-20s.
Yeah,
my early 20s. I always I watched Inuyasha.
Yep.
And Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, kind of growing up, you kind of were just kind of watching it on Cartoon Network late at night.
Yeah. And it wasn't until my mid-20s or early 20s, 23, 24, that I got high-speed internet and I could just find whatever the fuck I wanted on the internet, and I started watching a lot more of it, especially on Netflix and stuff like that. But
dude, Netflix is tearing everything apart right now.
I know. I mean,
everything is on Netflix right now.
I gotta get my subscription back. There's no reason I don't have it. I just been too lazy to set it up. I even do the
bestest of shows. I mean, Netflix has been producing some of the bestest of shows.
100%.
I mean,
F is for family.
I never watched 13 Reasons Why. I don't get the main. I honestly am against the whole message that
I think it's feel like the message is. I think it's over dramatic, and it appeals to suicide culture.
Yep.
And also, and that's that's a big thing that not to take it, but you mentioned it while we were outside. When I had said that I was probably going to talk about the UFC, and instead, the episode I hit you with was about basically suicide culture, especially in young teens, and that I didn't watch 13 Reasons. I watched a couple episodes in the middle, but I get the gist. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody messaged me on Facebook or something, but the gist of it is this girl committed suicide and left tapes for the 13 people explaining what they did to aid in her wanting to commit suicide. And
pretty much saying what they did wrong and why she committed it.
And it basically it's a romanticizing suicide and glorifying suicide in teenagers. And the young women especially eating it up like crazy.
Oh, yes. And there's young women especially. I'm not gonna try to be throwing out race or sexist or anything, but it's probably statistically true that young women are more susceptible for TV drama and everything like that.
For sure.
And this message is, people are saying that it's supposed to message that you're supposed to get help if you're feeling this way and everything, but it's my point on it is that it's like you said, it's glorifying the fact suicide and saying that you're gonna get noticed after the fact.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, I've only watched a couple episodes, so I can't.
I've never seen a goddamn episode because I absolutely refuse to watch it.
I watched a couple because at the time I was staying with my family, and it's just what one of them was watching. And so I figured I'd watch it, and I'm not very sure where I was at in the story. It didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time, which is why I looked it up online to see what it was about, and then I, realized this is just fucking a suicide note to 13 people.
Pretty goddamn much.
And I was like, that seems stupid, and so I didn't watch it. But it's very popular.
if we're completely wrong, definitely comment and tell us that.
For sure.
What your opinions are on it.
Yeah,
definitely love to hear from you.
If there's somebody who's actually watched it, and I'm totally getting the wrong idea, let me know. I probably still won't watch it, to be honest. It's just not something I was interested in. And, because that's a subject matter I feel very strongly about. Because, I don't have kids, but I look at the younger generation, especially teenagers, 20, I mean, a lot of the people I talk to on Facebook are your age. They're between 17 and like 23, and it's because I think I relate to them in a lot of ways, because I've just kind of figured out at almost 33, I've kind of figured out why I didn't know anything about life at 23, and I try to like, a lot of the times I try to like tell people, look, man, life fucking sucks, and this is the truth. And you have to face it. And if you're willing to accept that, you can learn some lessons here instead of fucking doing it the hard way like I did. And maybe you'll have an advantage or a better grasp on your situation or in life in general. Because when I was, 17, 18, 19, I didn't feel like I had that type of person in my life that I could trust and looked up to, who would give me honest advice and opinions that I wish I could ask my parents about. But somebody like my dad, he always had his own agenda. Anytime I asked him a question, he always had his own agenda, his own spin on things like that. And so I try really hard to be that kind of person. I try really hard to make sure everyone knows, I'm just a regular cool dude. I'm not a fucking creep. Everything I do is, anything I say is probably going to be in the public forum on Facebook where anybody can see it and fucking, screenshot that shit. I'm not afraid of anybody, screenshotting shit, because I don't say fucking weird shit. I'm always trying to be positive and stuff like that. Because I don't think there's enough people in this world who care enough, to be like, man, at this point in my age, I wish to God I could have gone back in time and talked to my...
My belief is that there's too many people that care too much about the wrong thing.
For sure. And that's
there's a lot of things in 2017 that just aren't right. The whole Black Lives Matter movement, it was for a right reason, but it was in the wrong way.
Yeah, I was a big supporter in the beginning, and then I just saw tactics that they would use that I thought were disrespectful, and it hurt their own cause.
Yep, and that brings us all the way to this friggin' NFL bullshit. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick, you're a dumbass. You started it for the right cause, you started it for the right reason, but all in all, you did it at the wrong goddamn time. Not during our national anthem. Not during our national fucking... when our flag is flying. That's not okay.
See,
that brings us to a whole discussion that we had outside.
Yeah,
on but break and everything. And
I just want to make at least my viewpoint or stance on the matter fairly clear, because we had talked about it outside. But I want to make sure that everyone listening knows that we have differing opinions on the matter.
Yep, and that's what we are. But that's why we're so good at talking and everything.
Yeah, because I have differing opinions, but I'm not passionate enough about this particular subject, to go, like to be a dick about it or anything. Like I was saying, I love the United States of America. I think it's hands down probably the best place to live in the world. This
is what I would say. I absolutely love our country, but I absolutely hate our government.
I completely agree.
That's the one thing I think is okay to say.
100%. I don't, and it's not just that I personally don't say I hate our government as much as I just don't trust our government, and
That's damn fucking sure.
I don't respect things that I can't trust. And to me, why I don't take offense over the NFL players taking a knee is because they do have a point. They really do have a real point.
Okay, so this is okay. So the NFL doesn't have a point. Colin Kaepernick, his stance, what he started.
I'm basing my opinion on his stance.
Now the NFL, like what happened last Sunday, was disrespectful as fuck.
And I gotta say, I didn't watch it, so I have no idea.
And due to my opinion about this is due to the fact that what Donald Trump said about it, now they're all pissy about it. The only person that actually had the right stance and what actually mattered was Colin Kaepernick.
Do you know exactly, or at least verbatim, I mean, you could paraphrase, I don't really give a shit. Do you know what Donald Trump said? Because all I know is he said something.
Okay, so I'll look it up real quick just to get... But just to pretty much verify
for
everything, I'll look it up and everything. But to paraphrase it, he pretty much said that if I was an NFL owner, pretty much fire their asses.
Okay.
Get them the fuck off the field.
Okay.
Disrespecting America, disrespecting our flag. I mean, my point of view on this and everything. I don't want to step on anybody else's toes or anything, but
I'm a believer, man. Say what you got to say, man. Because
right,
even if I disagree, I
mean, I believe in the First Amendment. You have a right to protest, Colin Kaepernick.
100%.
You have a right to do so, but at the right time, not during our national anthem, not during the American flag.
See, I guess to me,
when did athletes become politicians?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you on that one. All I know is for me, I guess the reason why I really don't take offense is because all of the things that make America great, in my opinion, aren't necessarily represented by the flag or the national anthem, in my opinion.
What America... You know what? I mean, the American flag symbolizes America, but so does the NFL. The NFL is broadcasted nationally.
Yeah.
It's not just America that's broadcasted NFL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're pretty much showing that we're a shit country. We fucking hate ourselves.
So my question is, though, in this particular situation, or just in these types of situations in general, now, I'm not saying it's disrespectful or not disrespectful, but what I'm wondering is, they truly feel they truly feel like they have a reason to do what they're doing, and where I get sketchy is trying to tell them there are situations where they can't do that, because then that you get to a point where where do we draw the line? How serious does the cause have to get for us to be able to speak about it without having to worry about losing our job and shit? Because at any given, you don't have to, they're not giving a speech or anything, so you could ignore it if you wanted, but I feel like people are upset.
But this is also my thing, though, is that so many souls. I mean, it's the American flag doesn't only represent our men in arms, but I mean it's a strong part of it.
Yeah.
The men that sacrificed their lives for that flag. There's a lot of men and women out there that are not okay with this. Mm-hmm. They would definitely agree with me that this is not okay.
For sure.
I mean, you have a right to protest and everything, but just not during the national anthem or the American flag flying.
I mean,
there's definitely there's definitely different parts of the game that you could do that and protest instead of the national anthem and the American flag flying. That's just my point of it.
I think they're using the national anthem to make the biggest statement they can. I mean, I guess from a protest.
Their main point is to cause a riot. Their main point is to make people mad about the situation. And I mean, they're right. People are getting pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
but the thing is, the NFL are gonna lose money. They're gonna start saying, "All right, quit it."
Yeah.
What? Because I mean,
I'm sure there's something coming.
Because I'm sure the military feels like they're getting shit on when they kneel during that American flag. all those men and women that died for that flag. Not just for that flag, for their right to kneel.
But then I gotta.
But for them to kneel, I mean, it's their right. It definitely is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that. It's their right to kneel.
I'm just thinking about on the other side. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because it's what I do. On the other side, though, they are making I mean, as far as Colin Kaepernick, I don't know. Like there is a legitimate reason. Like there are tons of cops abusing their power, and people are dying because of it. And I think where do you think it would be more appropriate to make that statement than on live television, where it makes the most powerful impact?
Like wait another 5 minutes to start the game. Wait another 5 minutes to do kickoff. Kneel.
Like out of respect or something, like say, hey,
do not just. I'm like okay with the whole kneeling thing. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the stance. I'm not okay with the timing.
Okay. So like
I'm not okay with them kneeling during the national anthem and the American flag flying. That's what I'm not okay with. If they kneeled anytime.
If after the national anthem they say, we want to dedicate the next 5 minutes in silent protest.
They don't even have to say a goddamn word. After that national, after they stand tall, stand proud as Americans, as people that live in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Once that's all done, they can just sit in silence and kneel for another 5 minutes when kickoff's supposed to happen.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, I'm okay with the stance. I'm okay with what they're doing. So I'm not okay with how they're doing it.
And why I don't see anything wrong with that is because at that point you're offering a viable choice, and by them saying no, we're going to do it during the national anthem. That's them making a point specifically. This is not just about our ability to protest. No, we want to specifically protest this thing. And that forces them to narrow it down, and then it literally is.
But they knew. They absolutely knew, because Colin Kaepernick single-handedly did it. One game.
Yep.
And blew America up.
Yep, I remember.
And so the whole NFL, well, not the whole NFL. I mean, the Vikings, Minnesota stood proud. Yeah. Not a single kneeler. And I'm proud to say that I'm a Vikings fan. I'm proud to say that we are Vikings. I'm a Viking.
If I ever watch football, it's always the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota. Yeah, I mean you gotta stay true to where you are.
Like if I'm going to watch football, I watch a Vikings show. I don't watch a lot of football, but if I do,
there was not one single Vikings player that was kneeling that game, and I'm proud. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because they knew what was going on. They knew what everybody was gonna do, and even the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was one player. I forget his name, Valenvoya or some.
Honestly, I haven't followed too much farther outside of the Kaepernick thing.
But the whole Pittsburgh Steelers team stayed in the locker room. Didn't even come out on the fucking field.
Oh shit!
Stayed in the locker room during the national anthem. Besides one player,
they're trying to escalate it.
He was a former Navy SEAL.
Damn.
Or, I mean, he was in the military, Army Ranger, Navy. I'm pretty sure he was.
So, and I feel like he's totally at that moment. He's also making his own statement, which is just as important because he was in the military.
He knows what that flag stands for. So he knows what that national anthem is.
To him, that means a little bit more than to somebody who hasn't been in that situation. Right. So he gets it.
But the thing is that the NFL owners even are kneeling with the players.
Yeah.
What is this?
I mean, I definitely feel like there's legit reasons for both sides, and I've always been.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there's both arguments on both sides, but I mean, the timing of it, is just horrible.
And that takes us back to the solution that you came up with, which I think is.
I think it's honestly an excellent idea.
I think
I don't see why they
don't. Like I don't have somebody I can call and be like, "Hey, motherfuckers, try this." But I would.
I wish. If
I had a fucking phone line to fucking Joe Blow head NFL, I'd be like, "Just give this a shot, man. give everybody a choice, and at least at the very end, if they choose no, it's always going to be during the national anthem, then they got to explain why. Fucking give me a better reason than you have why you couldn't do this other viable thing.
So what I've seen so far, their reasoning behind doing it during the national anthem is because the national anthem stands for this country. It stands for what this country means. And apparently the NFL players don't like that.
Yeah.
But last time I checked, when the fuck did NFL players get paid to fucking become politicians? They get paid fucking, $3.5 million a game to step on the field?
Yeah. I mean, there definitely is.
And they're gonna piss off all these Americans that actually pay them?
Yeah, exactly.
And who pays the athletes?
I mean,
taxpayers.
I guess I didn't really know for sure because
pretty much taxpayers, the people that pay for the stadium, that pay for the brats, that pay for the seats.
Yeah.
That's pretty much who pays the NFL players.
I primarily watch like fucking UFC and shit like that where they get paid in a whole totally different way. So I never really think about it. But
I mean that fucking McGregor Mayweather fight,
dude, that was
holy fuck. They got paid outstandingly just to even appear.
And the crazy thing is that I want to say the numbers was that they made as much money as they did, and I believe they still had 100 million illegal pirated downloads. So they lost money on 100 million views, and they still made hundreds of millions of dollars. Like Mayweather walked away with $350 million, and I believe Conor walked away with 100 million.
100 million.
And it was an alright fight. It wasn't a $450 million fight, in my opinion, but they were so fantastic with the...
My opinion, I honestly rooted for McGregor.
I definitely wanted him to win.
I knew he wasn't going to win because I knew what was going to happen during the fight. I could literally show you the recording of what I was said or what happened or whatever.
Yeah.
But before the fight, I said to my girlfriend and to the people that we were watching them fight with that for the first couple of rounds, Mayweather is literally going to sit there and block. Yep. McGregor's going to come hard. He's going to throw everything he's got because that's who he is. He's a fighter.
Yep.
Mayweather did exactly that. He blocked the first 4 rounds. Yeah, McGregor fought.
He did it a round longer than I thought he was going to.
Right?
Yeah.
But I thought 5th round, McGregor was tired as hell.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Mayweather knew what was going to happen because he knew McGregor's not that kind of fighter.
I saw McGregor slowing down in round 6, and then in round 8 it became really noticeable. He was wobbly and shit like that, and then I think he was knocked out or knocked down, or the fight was stopped actually.
At the end of round 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think it was 9 or 10. He might have made it to round 10.
No, I don't.
It was something.
Honestly, I can't remember.
But I knew it was. I knew it was going to happen. It just happened a couple rounds later than I expected it to, and so going into it as a fight fan, and I've seen all of McGregor's best fights in the UFC, and I watched a bunch of Mayweather's fights in anticipation of this fight because I'll do that sometimes.
Being it was a boxing fight. It was Mayweather's fight from the beginning.
100%. And if he couldn't pull it off, there was something wrong.
Yeah.
And people are thinking that he was, because it lasted so long, it was because he's feeling, the effects of, he's like 40 years old.
He's 40 years old, but fuck, he's 40 years young yet.
But yeah, but in the fight game though, that difference between 30 and 40 is huge. But a lot of people, especially, you'll notice it now in the UFC since USADA has been, they went to USADA a few years back for all of the drug testing and shit. And I don't know if you know what USADA is, but they're basically the people who caught Lance Armstrong.
Really?
Yeah, so they're very thorough. I mean, if you're taking steroids in the UFC, they're going
to find out. I mean, John Jones, he's been caught how many times now?
Who?
John Jones?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I fucking say it like that. It's probably because I'm a DC fan. And I mean, the Martian Manhunter, he's called John Jones.
Yeah, John Jones.
But
I love watching.
He just got caught recently again for using. 100%. He can't do his recent fight because of it. And in the last 5 of his fights, he's failed 4 drug tests. What a fucking idiot.
One of them was for cocaine, and I believe the other 3 were for performance-enhancing drugs.
And so, like, if you need performance-enhancing drugs, you already know you're not the best.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't need them, though.
I've literally watched him fucking just... You still got something on your goddamn mustache, dude. It's been bothering me for like 2
Is that what you've been trying to tell me?
Yes.
Dude.
Goddamn. Holy shit. It's been bothering me for like 2 minutes.
You just said something, bro.
I didn't want to say something over the fucking intercom. I don't let everybody know you got something on your mustache. But, hey, everybody, Kevin's got something on his mustache.
I had a fucking piece of pocket fuzz or something up. And he's been over there rubbing the shit out of his fucking upper lip for like the last 10 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. That's funny. But yeah, man, John Jones is probably the most naturally gifted fighter I've ever seen.
But he fucked himself over by doing that shit. I mean, even Lance Armstrong, like you were mentioning earlier. I mean, he was a fucking almost damn near perfect fucking cyclist.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan. I don't know shit about the sport or anything.
The only time cycling
I know he's won a bunch of medals and lost them all because he's fucking...
Yeah, the only time cycling was ever interesting in my lifetime is when Lance Armstrong was winning fucking races. You know?
Right? Even when swimming, Michael Phelps.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Then he fucking apparently...
That's the type of athlete Lance Armstrong is. You know, he was the Michael Phelps of cycling. And now, well, I shouldn't say it like that because I don't believe Michael Phelps has ever been caught for doing anything other than weed, who gives a fuck about that?
That's why he was able to come back, I think.
Because, I mean, that don't even get me started.
He's a sad.
But Lance Armstrong got lambasted for...
Well, I mean, he won fucking how many medals and then he ended up getting caught for using in all of them?
Well, the thing is...
Or did he just get caught for using them recently? See, I don't know the whole story.
They have samples. They have old drug samples from when he was sampled.
Why the fuck would they keep that?
He passed the tests. He passed the tests because they're really strict about this shit. He passed the tests during competition, but then USADA came in and they were like, "Well, give us those old samples. We're gonna do better. Yeah, we're gonna do better fucking tests than you guys did." And USADA went back to those old samples, and he, was tested positive for like EPO and shit like that. But the thing is, something they do that it enhances the amount of red blood count in your bloodstream, so you can go longer, harder.
Very scientific. Not gonna see that as Pineapple Express. I mean, just like we were talking about on break and everything. There's people out there that have. I mean, their whole lives revolve around movies and video games, and then like their whole...
My youth definitely watched a lot of fucking movies.
Outlook on life is just a movie and video game and everything. But I mean, I was talking about how I used to quote Pineapple Express my whole life, and I mean, not my whole life, just for like 2 years.
Well,
honestly, 2 years straight, I sat there and honestly quoted Pineapple Express for...
It's a quotable fucking movie.
Well, I mean, it's one of the greatest fucking movies of all time. I mean, Seth Rogen and David Franco.
For me, my
James Franco, I mean.
Dave Franco, yeah. Or no, it was
James Franco.
James Franco, yeah. For me, my Pineapple Express has always been Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. Like, those have been my two... Like, after those movies came out, I was dropping fucking quotes from those fucking movies.
Okay, so I have like this... Me and my buddy that lives in Pride Lake, I mean, me and him have a whole experience on like movies and life, and I mean, that's a whole nother podcast if we ever come together again.
I'm sure we will, dude. We're gonna have to do something in the future.
And we have this whole movie thing that this is the end.
That was a good movie.
Everybody that's pretty much in that, everybody that's in one of those movies. Great movies. I mean, Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah.
Hot
Tub Time Machine wasn't one of my favorites.
Any Will Ferrell movie.
Dude. I love Will Ferrell.
Vince Vaughn. One of my favorite actors. any movie, Internship, the fucking Wedding Crashers, any movie that he's in, phenomenal.
Like I got it. I don't give Vince Vaughn enough credit because I like a lot of his stuff, but I got to be in a Vince Vaughn mood sometimes because I know exactly what I'm getting from Vince Vaughn, but he does it so well.
Any mood I'm in is a Vince Vaughn mood, honestly, because like I'll be pissed off or even upset or sad even, and I'll start watching like the Internship,
dude.
Have you just on like the one-liners. Just if you watch his facial expression, even so spot on.
I really liked
so spot on.
I really liked him in that one movie with fucking Ben Stiller, where Ben Stiller was a Costco manager, and there was like aliens in their town. The Watch. That I liked that movie because I liked that British kid or whatever, that black British guy. I always thought he was hilarious.
Yep.
And because I watched a show on Netflix that he was in, and Vince Vaughn was funny as fuck in that movie too. Have you ever gone and watched like any of his old movies from like the 90s?
Oh my god. Be Cool. It's got John Travolta and Vince Vaughn.
I need to watch that.
Fuck.
Isn't The Rock in there?
Oh, he is in it.
He play like a gay cowboy or some shit, like a gay country singer.
He's like a wannabe actor. He's trying to get himself out there or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he's gay or whatever. But watching the Internship and Wedding Crashers were probably my two favorite ones, honestly. They're
people
just
quote
classics.
that all the time, and I've never watched it. I need to watch it.
The Wedding Crashers is a classic.
I need to watch it because people quote. I hear people saying Stage 5 Clinger to this day.
Stage 5 Clinger,
and I've never watched it.
Love it.
I might watch it later tonight. I don't know.
Oh my god, do you got it?
I'll download it, man.
I mean, I could definitely got it if you need to buy. Oh, I don't even have it here. Never mind. Just
I could I can stream it or something. I shouldn't say I'll download it. I'll stream it from a reputable retailer
source.
Yeah, I'll find it on Netflix. That's what I'll do.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we got two.
Want to wrap this one up?
3 minutes and
maybe go for a third one if you're feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely talk to the wife. I mean, she better be done with it. All right, so before we started this podcast, my girlfriend was starting a puzzle, and I told her that I wanted it finished by the time I was done with this podcast. And let's see how far she is.
We'll see.
We'll see. If we start this third one, then I'll give you an update.
If we don't, I'm sure we'll get back together again. We'll have to do it.
We'll definitely, and then I'll tell you then.
Sounds good.
But I'm sure we will.
All right. We'll see.